We need our weave. I don't wear it, but we need it.
Like waves on a beach, progress comes and goes. But it never truly stops. Every retreat gathers strength for the next rise. Stand your ground, breathe it in, and let the tide carry you forward.
Hey, yo, Quantic, run them bands up.
I have a heavy heart tonight. And it's mainly because my soul is breaking that so many people, so many women especially, are dealing with workplace abuse. And let me tell you, unfortunately, this is not a new issue, but I didn't know that this was a real thing until I was going through it. And I walked away 6 years ago. And to know that it's still going on literally breaks my soul. 6 years ago, when I walked away, I had no one to help me. I didn't even know that what I was going through was a real thing until I told my husband one night, I said, I got to get some help. If I don't know if I'm going to be here any longer, because what was happening to me was so soul crushing. And I was going through breast cancer at the same time. My soul was hurt. Going to work every day, trying to get people to understand what they were doing was wrong, was literally unaliving my soul. So while I had no one to talk to until I told my therapist, who explained that what I was experiencing was classic workplace abuse. I didn't even know there was a name for it. I just knew that what I felt wasn't right and that I couldn't do anything about it because the powers that be were intentionally working and orchestrating to push me out. That's the truth. That I am just so blown away when someone wrote back and said, thank you for responding to my message. And my heart broke because I'm like, of course, Of course I'm going to respond by talking about it and helping you to know that you're not alone, that there are other women who have gone through this, and that you're not alone. Like,
winter is coming. Winter is coming. There are some people who do watch Game of Thrones and some people who don't watch Game of Thrones. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, you are missing something ahead about its similar size of cultural impact upon the world as Star Wars and The Godfather. So if you've chosen not to watch Game of Thrones for whatever reason, winter is coming are the words of House Stark. All the great houses of Westeros have words, a saying, a motto. And the House Stark is one of the oldest great houses in Westeros, dating almost back to the beginning of recorded history. Let me just say this. Man, if y'all haven't watched Game of Thrones, you're going to miss a lot of cultural impact. So I don't care why you haven't get caught up, because there are all kind of quotes and stuff that I see people on YouTube missing all the time because you're not plugged into the world. And it's kind of like use the force. If you haven't watched Star Wars, you miss out on a common language. Throw in the towel. If you haven't watched Rocky, you don't know what that means. So when somebody say, I woke up this morning and chose violence, it has something to do with this. When we say winter is coming, the North remembers. Vala Margulis, Vala Doharis. There's all kind of stuff in this show that people walk around saying, just like leave the gun, take the cannoli. Okay, so that's my input. So why is this so important? Because I chose Game of Thrones because winter is coming is right, no matter how you put it. Even after, and winter in Westeros is not winter in the United States. Winter in Westeros can last as few as a few months and as long as 100 years or 30 years. And when it happens to last a long, long time, it gets into a period of being called the long night. The long night is when winter came, and then when the imminent threat from the north of the wall is a geographical barrier between the frozen north, where the White Walkers live, and the rest of Westeros. It's where all this stuff happens, and that's where the story was set. This is a scene from episode 1. The first time in hundreds of years, human beings actually saw what is called a White Walker. I want you to think of a White Walker as a zombie with superpowers. They're tall, they're strong, they're immortal. And one of their biggest powers is the Night King. He can reanimate corpses and add them to his army. There's so much important about Game of Thrones we're going to get into. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just kind of rock with it. Winter's coming, though, ladies. And what does it mean? Well, whatever Ned Stark or anybody from House Stark would say, winter's coming, they're not wrong. Because eventually, even if summer is over, winter's coming back. And even if it's just over, it's coming back. If you're in the middle of it, it's coming back. And trust me, when winter comes, you want to be prepared because bad things happen in the winter.
pushing. Black women, we keep being told to keep pushing in a job market that suddenly feels like it actually shut the door. In fact, it slammed the door. I'm Andrea Moorhead Allen. I'm a former TV news anchor who literally dropped the mic and I walked away from a 35-year career because of workplace abuse. The toxicity almost unalived me. You know, since DEI initiatives were rolled back, since you know who got into office, let's just keep it real, hundreds of thousands of Black women, over 600,000 of us, have lost jobs. Many of us can't get hired. I'm one of them. I'll be honest, I'm one of them. I can't tell you, or maybe I will one of these days, the things that I have done just to make a livelihood. I have the education. I certainly have the experience. And I also have 7 Emmy Awards that once opened doors. And still, even with all that, some doors are not opening for me. They still haven't, and it's been 6 years since I walked away. If you're sending applications and going to interviews right now, please know this. Please know this. Your value has not changed just because the system did. When the doors stopped opening, I had to start building my own path. Now, it has not been easy, but creating my own brand has given me space to reset my nervous system, to do work that I'm passionate about and actually feel joy again. So what I'm building now, it gives me something even more valuable, my peace. And Black women, we have always found a way to rise, even when the system tries to push us out. And if no one believes your story of toxicity and workplace abuse, I do. I see you and I hear you. And thriving in life is our birthright.
This is a preview of a probable future. Why do you think you guys have been seeing so many movies like Book of Eli? Why do you think you've been seeing shows like The Walking Dead, dystopian universe? Because this is what's on the horizon.
In Korea, of the 7.8 million women in their 30s and 40s, 17.176%, or 1.38 million, are single.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming up. Who's up late tonight? Can't sleep. Felt like doing something, so here we are. Want to take a look again at this Black female unemployment crisis. You know, they're saying winter is here. I'm hearing in the streets that winter is here, so we're going to talk about winter, y'all.
It's soulless. And it's soulless because y'all done pushed out the people who brought the flavor. Just look at what we did with soul food, with soul music. Looking at soul food, we took the food that they didn't want, that they called scraps, right? We took our...
Oh, wrong video. Hold on, let me get out of there. Here we go.
I want you all to know that they are not hiring Black women for jobs at any age. I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. They are not hiring Black women for jobs. The only way you may get hired if it's like a factory job or something like that. But you go for an interview and then you get an email saying, well, we're going with a more qualified, candidate. Apparently, I was qualified if you pull my resume and you wanted to do an interview with me. This is setting a precedent. It's over, I know, 300,000 women, Black women who have gotten laid off. And I've seen countless videos right here on this app of women, Black women saying they cannot get a job. The only way I've been getting callbacks if I decline to put what race I am. And then once I have like a Zoom or a team interview, then all of a sudden I'm not qualified for the job.
So she can't get past the Zoom interview. I wonder what might be killing her chances on the Zoom meeting. Something about that Zoom interview is just killing her employment opportunities. I wonder what it could be. This is all very unfortunate. Winter is coming now, as I'm told.
And this is at an alarming rate that we're not getting jobs. We're not, whether it's work from home or, I guess any type of job. And I know I have the experience. I know I do because you're calling me. You're telling me in your emails, I like your resume. Your experience fits with what we're looking for. And then as soon as we have an interview, then I'm not the right fit. So we need to know what the hell is going on. Why are Black women getting hired? Like, am I alone well, I know I'm not alone in this because I've seen too many videos. We need to know, why aren't Black women getting hired? Somebody talk to me. Shit. I want you all to know that.
Somebody talk to her. Somebody talk to her. We got to give solutions, y'all. We're going to be solution-based for once, y'all. Somebody talk to her. Why are Black women not getting hired? What is going on in the game that is keeping Black women off the court? I don't claim to know everything. I'm just asking questions and doing commentary. I don't know things. I just wonder what's keeping Black women out of the game.
Chung is not the only one who chooses to remain unmarried. Many women in their 30s and 40s do too. According to the National
Possibly take on your financial load. Why am I saying this? Because I hear from women often who believe they're dating like they're still 22 and they're 30 plus. And when it hits the middle class, like it's about to happen,
Winter is coming.
It's going to also do like the recession of 2008, and it's going to touch the upper middle class. Unless you are in the high six, for men who are making $150,000, $200,000 or more, you are good. And the more you're making, the better. Especially for the men who are tradespeople who have no real student loan debt. But you ladies, only 9% of you earn $75,000 or more.
Please stop lying to us and just telling us to network more. The Black unemployment rate in this country right now being closer to 7 to 8% compared to the national average around 4 is pissing me off. And all of the advice that I'm seeing of leaning into your network is even more frustrating. I got a text message from a friend the other day that they did another round of layoffs at his company and he was impacted. And I just remember the dreadful feeling a few years ago when I knew that the startup I was working at was about to go belly up and I was about to be without a job for a while, and just how awful that felt. Stanford did a study, I think I may have talked about this before. Stanford did a study that looked at resumes with Caucasian names and African American names and saw that in this blind study, the resumes with Caucasian names had a 50% higher callback rate than those with African American names, just on their name. Like, I don't even have my foot in the door. You don't know a thing about me just yet. And then these recruiters tell you, well, then tap into your network, lean into your network. I see all of the HR girly content creators talking about this. But in the Black community, did you all know that we are less likely to refer each other for roles due to the reputational risk that it puts on our plate? And I'm not shaming on us for that because it's very valid. We're worried about putting somebody else's name up and then that making us look bad, that making us look like we're trying to offer handouts, which is a little ironic. But that being the case, it's very piss poor advice to say lean on your network. So instead, I'm going to say lean on your sponsors. Your network and your mentors are more so people who are like investing in you, but your sponsors are people who just bring your name up in rooms that you're not already in. Those are the people who are more than likely going to go to bat for you. But even then, the sponsors, the mentors, the network, that is harder for us to obtain and achieve when we're already starting so far behind the goalpost. Things that have worked with for me in the past are to lean on support groups, right? I'm talking about professional development support groups. It's going to be different depending upon what industry you're in, but I'm talking about Black in Tech or NSBE. In a lot of those places will have resources to help connect you with jobs and recruiters. Speaking of recruiters, lean on recruiters. If I'm looking for jobs and these recruiters are looking for jobs for me on my behalf, and they're going to get compensated when they put me in a role, that actually benefits me the most. I'm pretty positive I know I got my last one, but I want to say my last 2 jobs came from working with recruiters because they are incentivized to find something for you that's a good fit. Another thing that's worked really well for me is targeting smaller fish. One, the smaller size companies tend to have a lot more flexibility in the first place. I personally love that freedom and flexibility. And they don't have as much bias ahead of time because people are so accustomed to targeting these larger companies, these larger institutions, that the smaller ones usually are not filtering through as many resumes or filtering through as many phone calls.
laid off a year and a half ago. I was laid off a year and a half ago. We're going to have to do the deep breath twice today. Hey, cool kids. Welcome to Lo-Fi Black Women's History. For Women's History Month, let's talk about Black women's history while keeping our last nerve intact. For the last few months, we've seen that Black women have been greatly impacted by the changing job market. Black women's unemployment rate has jumped to 6.7%, and 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs since the start of the Trump administration. Before the bots and red pills run into the comments to talk about how lazy we are, that wasn't the case when we were working for free, was it? Exactly. Black women were used for sexual, domestic, and plantation labor during slavery. And after emancipation, Black codes were put in place immediately to regulate Black people's behavior. Those Black codes frequently included vagrancy laws. In 1866, Virginia said, if you even look like you're not working, you will be fined, and your punishment is, surprise, surprise, working for a white family on a plantation or a farm to pay off your debt. For Black women, work ordinances were usually about forcing them into a specific kind of work. Greenville, South Carolina almost passed an ordinance that forced Black women to work and carry an ID card. The townspeople complained that white families offered them jobs, but Black women refused to take them. The result being that it is exceedingly difficult for white families who need cooks and laundresses to get them. In Montgomery, Alabama, the police arrested Claire Williams and sentenced her to 90 days in the stockade, not because she wasn't working, but because she was working as a domestic for a Black family and not a white one. Vagrancy laws and work ordinances were also seen during World War I. Work or fight laws forced unemployed men to either work or join the army, which of course disproportionately affected Black people, and by extension, of course, Black women in domestic labor. Take a deep breath. Thanks for watching. See y'all tomorrow.
I've been unemployed for 1 year and 1 month, and it's getting to a point where I can't help but take it personally, because even though I know that I am one in not just 1,000, hundreds of thousands, but one in millions of people who are going through a very similar process of getting ghosted by Target and ice cream places and dumpling places, doing minimum wage bitch jobs that you would happily, greedily take up if they could even just open your resume for a second. And I have too much pride to use AI or ChatGPT to change up every cover letter and resume, but I do tailor it so that I could basically prostrate myself to an algorithm that is looking for something I clearly don't have. How can I not take it personally when jobs can't even do me the decency, the due diligence to my inbox that I got rejected? It's just never hearing anything. That silence after you send out hundreds of job applications, the resounding silence in return would have you want to jump. It's infuriating, and it's ridiculous to keep being told keep your head up in an economy built off of you drowning.
Some women are taking it a lot worse than others. Some of these women are having a hard time dealing with winter. I was told that winter was coming and that, it's going to be chilly. Maybe these women didn't get the message. I don't know.
One of the hardest things I find about being unemployed is that I can no longer just financially support people whenever I hear a story that moves me. I'm somebody who's very big on, like, I see something that moves me. If they have a GoFundMe, I'll donate. If I see somebody on TikTok who's like making a product that and their story moves me, I will go and purchase it. But being unemployed has robbed me of that ability to do that, and it just feels, as somebody whose like love language is gifts, it's something that's very hard to not be able to help freely. You tell them postpartum. So this is my prayer and shot. God, if you're listening, please, I need money so that I can give it away to other people. One of the hardest things I find about being unemployed is that
God, can you hear me, Lord? I just want you to know that she needs that money, Lord.
I need that money.
Did you miss me? I definitely left y'all hanging on my unemployment countdown or just my unemployment journey in general. So let's get caught up. I have officially applied to at least 100 jobs. I know for a fact I have 64 on my database, and I have done the rest honestly through LinkedIn quick applies. I am actually honestly feeling okay about the whole process. So I'm really only on month 3 of my journey. It's been, a little up and down, but overall, I don't feel like it's been too terrible. I feel like I've had a few interviews. So one interview, I made it to the second round. Another interview, I made it to the second to last round interview. And I just had another interview this past week, and I have another one coming up this week. Interviews kind of come far and few in between, if I'm being honest, but in 3 months, I think that's actually not too shabby. Emotionally, I honestly just feel okay. Like, I don't really feel too stressed right now. I think that I'm kind of used to the rejection of jobs. When I was in college, I applied to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of internships for 2 years straight and got a lot of rejection. So I think that was a lot of practice to kind of set me up for this point in my life now. And then too, I'm really trying to look at it from a different lens. Like, I know it can be daunting. I know the world, the news, but me, I'm trying to enjoy this quiet, this peace, this slowness. I mean, when do we really get the opportunity to not have to work? When do we get the opportunity to just take our time, to not rush, to take it easy? Not often. I am curious though, if you're unemployed or have been unemployed, what are some tips that you have to get through this season, or what did you do to kind of reshift your focus? Drop them in the comments below. Bye.
She sounds like she's enjoying this too much. She sounds like she is not struggling at all. She probably got a man. She got a good situation. Not that big a deal. She sounds like she is enjoying her unemployment. It's like a little vacation. It's like a little break from being an adult.
National unemployment rate is 4.4%, but that rate for Black women is 7.3%. As we all know, a lot of Black women lost jobs in 2025. Part of that was related to the government cuts by DOGE, which specifically targeted agencies with higher numbers of Black people on staff, and Black women were already overrepresented in the federal government. And then we also saw the White House put out a stop to DEI. Trump signed an executive order, like almost as soon as he came back in the White House, saying that he was outlawing DEI in the federal government. They stripped away those roles. And of course, corporate followed suit, getting rid of a lot of DEI roles. And unfortunately, those roles were staffed by people of color. Anyway, this inspired me to write my piece last week called Keep Your Head Up, and it is an unemployment survival guide tailored to Black women. As someone who has been through it, I just wanted to share my tips. Link in bio to read and subscribe.
That's right. Survival guide. You got to share tips. Share like baking recipes, how to make a cake for 98 cents and shit like that. Got to help each other out. Stick together.
Came out with the unemployment rate data that the Trump administration had been holding. And Black unemployment is at 8.3%. For reference, the average of unemployment for all racial demographics is 4.3%. For white people and Asian people in this country, it's below 4%. But it is 8.3% for Black Americans, which is the highest that it's been since 2021, I believe. Also, want to point out that when Trump took office in January, Black unemployment was 6.2%. It has not been a full year. And I say all of this to say, and I want to tell Black people, we are being gaslit. We are being targeted, especially those of us that are high income earners. We are being systematically targeted. And the data shows that.
Sounds like when LeBron said they was hunting us, y'all.
No matter how they try to spin it, no matter how they try to like make it seem like it's not as bad as it is, 8.3% unemployment is huge. And if any other racial demographic of people had unemployment rates that high, it would be national news every single day.
Because there are a lot of people in this country who do not like Black women, but Black women are the base.
It would. It would. But people do not care because it's Black people. 8.3% unemployment. Bureau of Labor and Statistics came out with the unemployment rate.
Hey y'all, welcome to day 163 of being an unemployed African American woman in the United States. So I need some advice. So the big company that I was really hoping that I was going to get a job with, that I went through 3 rounds of interviews with, have seemed to ghost me. Is that normal? And last Friday, I wrote them an email to, check in to see if they had made a choice, because they told me either way they would let me know. And they seem very diligent about picking a candidate. So I'm really, this week, I feel defeated, okay? I've only had 2, down days since this all started, and we are on day 163. So I just need some motivation. And I'm tired of looking at these fucking job apps. I'm so fucking tired. And I feel like at 46, ageism is real. All right, y'all, this has been another day in the life of an unemployed African American woman. Y'all have a great day.
So it has been over a year now that I have been unemployed. I was laid off from my previous role as an HR director. I've discussed it. I've talked about it in a previous video that kind of exploded and now has a life of its own because there are so many people like myself who are experiencing this unfortunate phenomenon that is taking place within the United States with people of color, but Black people specifically being hit the hardest, right, with this unemployment crisis. So I am speaking for many of us when I say this, and I say this with love, okay? Please stop telling us to start a business. Please. I know that y'all don't mean no harm, okay? But please stop telling us to start a business. We are aware that that is an option. And you need various resources to start a business. Okay, which is I have done so, right? But it is not generating income quickly enough to sustain the lifestyle that I have created and have been used to maintaining with the income from the career that I had built. I also didn't expect inflation to happen. I also didn't expect personal life events to happen either that took place in my life. So we understand that that is an option, and many of us have pivoted to that. But for that to be the first thing that you say to someone who has been unemployed for over a year, we know. We've thought about it. And if we haven't done it, I'm pretty sure that there is a reason for those of us who have not done so. And if you haven't been in this position, then I don't think that you quite understand how hard this is for us and how it has impacted our mental health negatively. But we appreciate the feedback and the support, but that just should not be the first go-to. And I hope
that no one would ever have to experience this. It's very challenging and very mentally taxing.
Gotcha. Let me write that down. Do not tell Black women to start any businesses. Check. I'm going to remember that going forward. I will never, ever again tell or recommend to a Black woman that she should start a business. Go bake some cookies or something. That's what I always say. Go bake a goddamn cake. You know what? I like pie, actually. You can try baking pie.
I got laid off February 2025. My husband got laid off November 2025. You know, so now we just sitting here looking at each other like, well,
38-year-old Shauna Pinnock Glover was laid off while on medical leave for breast cancer.
I thought FMLA was to protect me from something like this, but when it's couched in a mass layoff, then it is completely illegal. So that just started a very long and very annoying journey of trying to find something, anything else, while still in the midst of fighting for my life, going through chemo, losing my waist length locks, you know, dealing with all just dealing with everything in general and trying to keep your mental health in check.
The Atlanta-based social media manager is one of thousands of Black women out of work. Some analysts estimate about 600,000 Black women lost their jobs in 2025 alone. A stark disconnect from statements like,
"More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country." Think about that.
Those were President Donald Trump's remarks during last month's State of the Union address. The most recent jobs report, though, disputes his claims, showing the U.S. actually lost 92,000 jobs in February.
It's not so much whether or not the economy is growing as whether or not it's shrinking proportionately. The number of Black women who are unemployed now is historically high. The brunt of it, at least that which was caused in 2025, I think can be directly attributable to the new administration and some of their policies.
He says including cuts to DEI programs and departments targeted by DOGE.
That gave license in the corporate world to cut out DEI also.
Now we're in this, AI revolution, and companies are, laying people off, saying that they've gotten all these gains from artificial intelligence, despite the many reports from economists and Wall Street saying that, we're not seeing a lot of productivity gains or a lot of additions to GDP.
Sierra Gross is founder of Worklution, which operates like an employee's own HR department.
There's people who are laid off and there's people who are pushed out. So if something is going on at work and you don't feel comfortable talking to HR, because as we know, HR is there to protect the company, you can have access to completely independent HR who's not embedded within your company, but has the technical understanding of human resources processes, how they think, how they handle complaints, and to help you gain a sense of awareness of, okay, this is what has happened. Here's what HR is going to do next.
For those already on the other side of a layoff,
I've seen a lot of people saying, well, maybe you have to pivot to entrepreneurship.
Since 2017, Black women have started more businesses than any other demographic, but they often generate less revenue and lack access to capital. Economist Gary Hoover of Tulane University's Murphy Institute discusses this dynamic in his latest book.
We're giving you a half truth. We're telling you that entrepreneurship is the way forward. Here's the road. But I'm not going to tell you that the road is blocked, that the road is crooked, that parts of the road are broken, at least for you. And then I have the nerve afterwards to blame you, to say, well, how dare you be so lazy as to not become a successful entrepreneur when all of these clearly obvious roadblocks were standing in your way.
At this particular juncture in my life, I don't feel like having the capacity to embrace the entrepreneur lifestyle.
At last check, she's applied to more than 800 jobs. She has 15 years of experience developing social media strategies for well-known media brands. But between ghost listings on LinkedIn, scam recruiters, and AI application screenings, her job hunt has been gruesome.
Let's be very clear. Looking for a job is a full-time job. And it is depressing. It is dehumanizing. It is incredibly frustrating.
She's landed some small projects, but pay is low. She started a GoFundMe, one of many we saw online.
I've seen a disturbing trend on LinkedIn lately where I've seen people, but especially Black people, write what is the equivalent of suicide notes on their profiles, who are like, yo, I am down to my last. I've drained my savings. I'm, a week away from being evicted and being unhoused. I am, incredibly depressed because look at how many jobs that I've applied to and blah, blah, blah. And my however many years of experience don't matter. It breaks my heart. And I'm so familiar with the feeling.
I need to speak. And it's been 4 months. And I have 20 plus years of experience as an executive assistant. And I can't get a job. I keep getting rejection emails. Thank you, but sometimes straight up, it ain't you. And I've had a handful of interviews, and I do mean just the one hand. And they've all ended with nah. So I've never been in this position before. So I don't know what to do anymore. I've never been here. I have 3 kids. I have a parent that I take care of. I am divorced from an asshole who knows that I'm unemployed and is still shorting my child support. Yes, that would be him. I don't know what to do. So, thoughts, tips, suggestions. My boyfriend keeps screaming at me that this is the universe telling me that I'm not supposed to be doing this and that I'm supposed to be writing and I'm supposed to be copy editing and copywriting for myself. And he might be right, but I'm scared. I have 3 humans that count on me. I have a mom that counts on me. I even have a puppy that counts on me. And it's all on me. And I've never been here. And I'm scared. So I hide it really well. So check on your strong friends because we're not okay.
Some days I wake up and I am happy about the Lord. Other days I am not. So I have been unemployed for almost a year this month. Today was the first day I cried. And I'm reflecting because it's been hard. A lot of people have told me that I've handled this season well, which is so interesting to me. But as I reflect, I realize that I did handle this season differently than I would have in the past. And I don't know what that is exactly. I don't know, maybe if I stopped, I probably would have not been here anymore, literally. So I still did things. And to the life of me, the only way I've been able to do certain things like go to Chicago, go to the Brandy and Monica show. I
also was thrown a surprise birthday dinner this year. I was able to visit my friend in New York, whom I absolutely adore.
Church is on a 3-week break, much needed. So I decided to visit my friend in New York, and that meant I finally got to visit her.
Other different things that the Lord has allowed me to experience this year.
Let me see.
On unemployment, and this is why I can't give up on him. This is why I can't just not believe who he is and what he does and how amazing he is. And people had to remind me of this because I really didn't see it because of how much I was truly dying inside, because being unemployed, it does something to you, especially being unemployed for that long, especially to someone who in the past, it was not hard for me to find a job. Like, I was a job finder. Like, before I left one job, I had another job. So this year really took a toll on me, and I'm definitely going to need extensive therapy. And the crazy thing is, I'm not even halfway on the other side. I truly am not. I start a new job on Tuesday, finally. If you've been watching my channel, you know I said I was going to start on the 5th. They dropped the ball, not me. That was the date that was given to me, so that's what I believe. But I actually do start on the 20th. But even then, so I am pivoting into another industry I never saw myself going back to, let me say. And now with the new administration, there are some things that I don't even know if this will hold up. You know, it's a very uncertain time, and I am unclear about all of it. I am unclear about a lot of it. But it's interesting, you know, to be in this place, because on one hand, it's a strong hand. I do believe God. I do believe God. I do believe that he's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. I do believe that he is faithful to his word. I do believe that he is a provider. I do believe that he is a sustainer of the mind. And the devil know me and God are tussling because I'm not clear. You guys ever been angry at God? You are not alone. I don't know if people talk about it enough. I feel like God just dropped me off. He would drop me off to be responsible for y'all kids, baby's kids. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I was fine, twinkling my toes, just sending emails and getting paid and home in my robe. Me and the devil, no, me and God are tussling because I'm not clear.
Hey y'all, this is day 168 of being an unemployed African American woman in the United States. I got an update. So the really big job that I interviewed for 3 times sent me a follow-up email to my email I sent about a week ago. And unfortunately, I didn't get the position. And they said I was one of the strong candidates to choose from. But unfortunately, I didn't get it. And I told myself, don't go on TikTok and start crying. But when I upload this and I close my phone, I am going to go cry because I just don't see another opportunity in the field that I love, which was broadcasting, and this amount of annual pay coming back into like my life again. So thanks for everybody that well wished me
we did our best. So again, this has been a day in life of an unemployed African-American woman in the United States. Y'all have a great day. Hey y'all, this is day 168 of being an unemployed African-American woman in the United States. I got an update. So
Hey y'all, I'm coming at you just after a hot yoga class. So if I look sweaty and disheveled, it's because I am sweaty and disheveled. The teacher did not come to play today, and neither did I. Okay, I have a lot of frustrations that I need to get out. But I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who liked and commented under my most recent video about my layoff. That really, really meant a lot to me because so many emotions I felt on that day. But one of the biggest ones was hopelessness. And y'all gave me a little bit of hope back. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate it more than I can say. But I just wanted to give you a quick update on my unemployment saga, if you will, because I actually had a job interview and it happened, just over a week after I was laid off from my position. That made me really energized and excited. And I prepped for the interview. I thought it went really well, but I did get an email from the company saying that they decided to go in a different direction, and I did not get that job. That hurt pretty bad too, because I was confident in my ability to execute in that position, and it really hurt whenever I wasn't the one that they decided to go with. But that's okay. I'm not entirely down and out yet. I'm still putting in applications, sending my resume out there, and trying to enjoy this time where I don't have to be working. Like, I went to a hot yoga class at 7:00 in the morning, which is something that I would not have been able to do if I were still employed. So definitely trying to find the silver linings where I can. And again, I just want to say thank you to the folks who have been so encouraging. I really appreciate this because, like I said in my last video, I'm not one to be idle. I enjoy working. I've worked for a very long time, and I felt so just disheartened whenever I was laid off. But y'all reminded me that I'm not alone, that I am more than my job and my career, and I appreciate that so very much. So I'll check in again with y'all, kind of let you know how things are going. But as of right now, I am going to enjoy this time. Maybe I'll sneak in another hot yoga class today. I don't know. But regardless of where I end up, I just really needed to express my gratitude to you. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful day.
I mean, this is a college educated position. That's all we go after.
I'm college educated twice.
No, but there's more than just being college educated in this day and age.
I understand, and I have a lot more. I just feel like, I've been a recruiter for a while, and, going through the job process and interviewing, there's 300,000 Black women that do not have jobs, right? I know what I'm capable of doing. I know my people are capable of doing, but sometimes you also have to realize that as a recruiter, what position that we're in. We've been doing this talking and trying to convince.
I mean,
babes, I am going to hold your hands when I say this because I want you to hear me. There is a shift happening in the corporate landscape, the working world that we know. And I want you to make sure you are paying attention to the cues and to the changes that are happening within your organization. Layoffs are aplenty. It happened last year, more happening this year. Today's February 2nd, and January brought a lot of job cuts. So be sure that you are tapped into what's happening in your organization. Did someone resign and they not backfill them? What is your workload looking like? Are things that you typically do now being put through higher levels of scrutiny before it's an automatic yes? Like, are budgets frozen? Do you avail yourself to like the town halls, what's being said? How did your company fare for the past year, Q1, Q2, Q4, full year financially? If you didn't listen and those recordings are still available on your intranet site, I would absolutely encourage you to go take a listen. If you Google your company XYZ in the news, what's popping up? What are they saying? What is happening in your particular industry? Does the current presidential administration have laws or governance that is making your company or your industry hard to do business? You should be tapped in and listening to those things, because also the job market is not easy right now. People are in the job market on average 6 to 12 months right now. That's hard. That's a lot. And there's a lot going on. So, I know we talk about our outfit of the day and all of that, but we need to be in prep mode for what could happen if you are left without your job. Is your savings enough to cover it? Can you pivot? Also, simultaneously, we have AI being a major game changer and player in this landscape. So listen to that as well. Like, how much AI is being adopted at your job? In your current role, are they pushing you to use certain automated tools, machine learning and all of that? I also will encourage you to say, in the role that I am in, is it specialized? Is it niche? Is it technical? Is it, one of those roles that AI can or cannot replace? You need to answer that. If it can replace it, you should be absolutely figuring out how you upskill. You should be trying to upskill immediately. For those where it could maybe shave headcount, I champion it. How do I show that I can adopt this and use it for the good of my role, but I am still more of a subject matter expert, that I would be someone that is needed to lead this tool. And you too should still be upskilling if there's anything that you can get better at. But also, here again, in those specialized technical or niche roles, you should be leaning into the technology. Resistance is not your friend in that landscape. Definitely seeing, how do I enhance it, how I use it to drive insights, data, proficiency, streamline processes, whatever that looks like, to be better at my role. You should be tapping into those things. But it's scary out here right now. Even for me, I'm speaking for me as well. The cuts are rolling, the cuts are cutting. And I just don't want any of us to be out here coming into a conversation abruptly that changes our lives and we had no notice. Keep your head on swivel. Listen to all the things. Read the emails. They give you the information. Some of us just choose not to avail ourselves to it. But more importantly, cut back on the spending. Save some money, because if you find yourself without, you don't know how long you might be in this job market. I really hope this helps someone. Comment down below. Tell me, what you're seeing. Do you have uneasiness right now at your company? Because you could absolutely be onto something. Is AI being pushed? Tell me about all of that. Have a good day, babes. Bye.
I'm compelled to make a video about an experience I've had multiple times this week, because it's just a reminder that discrimination is very, very real. And I'm not going to be dealing with the people of, the clear delegation telling me in the comments about, oh, it's in your head and blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking to y'all. Once again, I know that y'all have a coalition of that you are a part of, that you are the gaslighters of of the world. So I don't care about like whatever people want to say about it not being real. Now that that's out of the way, so I've had a few job hits this week. Actually, I had a few, it started last week. I had a few recruiters reach out to me. The job market has been pretty dry for most people. And then there's a lot of conversation about how it's affected Black people and Black women specifically. The numbers are there. Google the data, wherever you get your data from, as long as it's accurate, it's going to reflect what I'm saying. So whether or not you agree with me as a person with the POV and lived experience, data literally correlates what I'm saying. So anyway, supports what I'm saying. So within the last 2 weeks, I removed my picture from my LinkedIn profile. And let me tell you how I don't know why, but my profile views, I don't know how that's correlated. But my recruiter outreach has increased. I'm not good with numbers. I'm a comms major. Whatever the percentage is, from going from 0 to 3 to 4 within a week, maybe 2 weeks. It was quiet the first week that I changed it. And then week 2, it was back to back to back that I was getting outreach. And I was thinking, oh, maybe it could be the time of the year. Maybe people have a better idea of their budget, whatever the case is. So that's one explanation. Fine. But I'm making this video because of an experience I had with a very particular job, and a third job this week that's kind of asking the same thing. And also, again, it has a similar flavor to it. So I'm going to call these jobs job A and B and C. So job A, recruiter reaches out to me, and we have the recruiter screen. And after the recruiter screen, the recruiter for job A is like, hey, can we also do a video screen? But it's still a recruiter screen, right? So I was like, oh, sure. And I kind of didn't think anything of it because it's a contractor role. So it was like phone screen, recruiter screen on video, I guess. And then like a meeting with the hiring manager, and then a presentation. That was going to be the full spectrum of it. So I had the recruiter video screen follow up pretty soon after the initial screening for job A. And it went all was going well and everything like that. And then like I didn't hear anything the next day, which usually to me, I'm like, okay, usually if you're moving forward pretty fast these days. So I kind of thought I didn't get it. And they were hiring for multiple positions for the same role at job A. So I kind of felt even better about job A because I'm like, well, I am going to be one of 4 people they're hiring if they hired me. If I qualify, of course. They actually had specific parameters such as like AI experience, using AI tooling, rolling it out. That's a very niche thing, especially with where we are with AI right now. So like to have a candidate that does what I do with AI experience is just very niche right now. It would be hard to find someone who didn't have my experience. And I just want to say, I have a 4-year degree from a prestigious university and over 10 years of experience in my field, as well as subsidiary fields that are very popular associated with my field. My field doesn't actually even matter. Every field right now is oversaturated, it feels like, unless you're like a doctor or something like that. So anyway, they came back and said that the client got a different staffing agency, basically, because this is a staffing agency recruiter reaching out to me. The client came back and basically placed a candidate from another staffing agency instead. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's fine if I didn't get the job, but I wasn't under the impression that there was just one person being hired. I thought there were multiple people being hired for the same role, but I just kind of let it go because I'm like, okay, the feedback was just the client went another way. Fine. I've had plenty of rejections in this job market, so I'm cool with that. But this is why I'm telling the story. So I had a job B recruiter reached out to me about a day or two after job A, what kind of almost in tandem. I was scheduled to meet with job B before I had my second follow-up video interview with job A. So pretty much the same day, that I get the email from job A denying me, I have the interview with job B. Guess which job B is interviewing me for? Did you guess job A? If you did, you're correct. It was literally the same company as job A. Same company, same exact role. So I'm like, okay. My impression was correct that they're hiring more than one person for this job because they're still using another staffing agency to place for this job. But after my video interview, which was weird because it was literally a logistics call, nothing else happened on that call, like no more questions about my experience. It was like a completely unnecessary call, pretty much. It was a weird call to have a follow-up on. She was like kind of fake confirming other things we talked about on our initial phone screener. And I just felt like it was weird that she was asking me that. And then I'm like, after the video screener, I didn't get the job. And then when someone else is looking at my qualifications from another staffing agency for the exact same company, a second recruiter from another staffing agency agrees that I qualify for this role. Okay, we're getting warmer. Job C is why I'm making this video, because I'm like, what's going on? And I'm not going to draw any conclusions. I'm just going to leave the facts here and let the audience come to the conclusion of why you think this might be happening. Because the proof is in experience, like lived experience. So job C, another recruiter reaches out to me, not for the same job. That was job A and B. The recruiter reaches out to me, and she wants to move forward with my profile or whatever, my candidate profile for this job, right? And she's asking me to update my photo on LinkedIn. Now, I already said at the beginning of this, I removed my photo on LinkedIn for a specific reason. I've had my LinkedIn photo since I've had LinkedIn. I know how to build out a social profile. That was literally my whole job, doing brand management and social media. I know how to build out a profile. So I removed it recently, as I said, on purpose. And she was pressing about this photo, this LinkedIn photo, and she also asked me to submit a photo for like the internal candidate profile. This was to prevent candidate fraud, which that one makes more sense because she said that one doesn't go out to the client, but that I should update my LinkedIn photo because that's where clients go and it completes my profile. And I told her, I purposely removed my profile photo recently and I've had more outreach as a result. I didn't really say anything else. And I know that maybe you shouldn't say things like that, but honestly, if she doesn't want to work with me, I don't care. I'm so over this job market. Like, okay, you don't respect that I don't have a photo. I don't care. Goodbye. Like, focus on my skills. I'm a great worker. My experience proves it, but I'm not doing this song and dance. And I'm also not going to be discriminated against because you found out that I was Black. Sorry, I guess I said the thing that I wasn't supposed to say that I wanted you to draw your own conclusion about. But yeah, it just makes you say, because we're like gaslit out of these experiences, right? Because it's like, it could be anything, maybe the candidate was placed and they realized they didn't need, it could be anything, can't it? But I'm not going to, make myself do the mental gymnastics to ignore the fact that like, that's a really weird thing that happened. And if it weren't for the fact that job C was pressing me about this photo situation, I would have like let the job A and B situation go. But I'm just like, what's everyone's obsession with knowing what I look like? I'm a bad bitch. Okay. That's all you need to know. I am compelled to make a video about an experience I've had.
Why are Black women, you think, being affected at this level? And do you think that it seems that they're being specifically targeted?
Well, that's what, I can't speak.
In fact, Black women have never been excluded from the labor market. Actually, in fact, Black women have always been the backbone of the labor market in the United States of America. If you go back to chattel slavery, okay, here in the United States, chattel slavery, the backbone of chattel slavery was Black women. And it's not to exclude the exploitation and the degradation of Black men, but regardless if Black men were present or not, they were going to treat us like cows and get us pregnant and reproduce as much as possible. And if you go back to the historical records, Black women were worth much more, especially if they were around fertile age, were worth much more than any other person enslaved. With that being the case, let me jump to the point of this, right? She asked the question, do you think it's intentional that Black women are being pushed out of the labor market? And that's intentional, it's by design. It's by design. I'm gonna walk you through it. So, like I said before, we have always been in the labor market, but our labor has looked much different, okay, before the 2010s. Before the 2010s, Black women were always seen as the help, the mammies, people who did hospitality, people who did hard labor, things that weathered on the body, sharecropping, working in the factories, working in the hospitals, cleaning the floors. That has always been the identity that white people have put on us. That's how they viewed us, through their own lens, not how we viewed ourselves, but how they viewed us through their own white eyes. That's how they viewed us. All right. And then obviously there has always been the talented Tim, the few and far between.
I was playing a video clip the other night where the woman had put out an idea that maybe people got tired of getting sued. They got tired of all these discrimination lawsuits. So they were just trying to phase Black women out of the workforce because, you can't sue me if you don't hire me in the first place. And so I wonder, are Black women too woke for work? I know. I have all these crazy theories and ideas I come up with, but is it possible that maybe, not all, but a good chunk, are a lot of Black women just too woke for work?
who have been able to creep through the cracks and become successful and do well for themselves as Black women, but not a lot of us. Not a lot of us. But it wasn't until the 2010s and onward that we have seen Black women at high rates go on to acquire higher education in mass. Whether that's through the top institutions in the United States of the United States of America, or through dual enrollment community colleges, anywhere that you see a school building, Black women have sat in those seats and matriculated and persisted. So much so, we are the most educated demographic in the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong. And with that being said, the narrative around Black women and our ties to the labor market has shifted in a way in which people are not impressed by. They're actually disgusted. I know sometimes we sit in boardrooms and we do our board meetings, and we have a lot of women who do this and who do that, who are in private equity, who are in this and who do that, and you guys think that you are a part of the team. And yeah, your team members at an individual level may think so, but as a system, people are disgusted that we sit beside them and that we have rewrote the narrative of who we are in this labor market. So with the pushback on DEI and affirmative action, all of that was by design to push Black women out of the white collar market, not out the labor market. They still want our Black asses to work, but not like that. We got beyond ourselves is what they saying. Okay. And the reason why I'm not focusing on Black men when I'm talking about this story is because Black men have always been exiled from higher education. They always have been pushed out. Black girls too, right? Everything comes with nuance, right? But Black men have always been subdued. They never seen it for Black women to sneak up on them and excel. And that's why we see now a rise in mass incarceration of Black women for petty things, for small things, a mass incarceration for Black youth, specifically Black girls. They focus too much on Black men. They forgot about the Black girls. So yes, it's by design that they are pushing us out of a certain part of the labor market. If you guys go on the US labor and statistics, wherever it is, unless they're covering up the data, most of those women are coming from the white collar offices or positions. The federal government being one of them.
Yes, y'all. Black women thought they were sneaking up on the white man. They were inches away from the kill, and God damn it, unemployment crisis. They were sneaking up on that white man, y'all.
Because mentally, the gym keeps me sane. Here's what my days are going to look like for the next few weeks or months while I'm looking for a job. I plan to get up in the mornings and go to the gym because yes, I still need to work out because yes, I still need to work out because go to the gym because yes, I still need to work out because and go to the gym because yes, I still need to work out.
Sweetie, why are you playing? Why are you playing with me on God's TikTok machine? You know damn well your unemployed ass is not hitting the gym first thing in the morning. I don't know why you playing with me on God's TikTok.
For months while I'm looking for a job. I plan to get up in the mornings and go to the gym because yes, I still need to work out because mentally the gym keeps me sane. So I'm going to do that. Then after I go to the gym, I'm going to come home and I'm going to create content for TikTok. I might even start a YouTube channel to create some long form content as it relates to reselling. Then once I've gotten the fun part out of the way, which is the content creation, I will sit down and get to the drudgery that is scrolling through job postings and applying for jobs. After that, I will work on getting some listings up in my eBay store. And this week I plan to list, I think I have somewhere between 18 and 20 items to list. You guys know my goal is to list 25 a week.
I bet she sells designer nursing smocks for really big women. Because, you know, the big fat nurses, they be having trouble getting their nursing outfits. And she probably sells like really cute, stylish nursing scrubs for fat chicks. That's her little side hustle. Designer scrubs for fat bitches. I was looking into that. There's money in that.
But this past week, I only found like 18 good things. But let me show y'all my 3 favorite things that I found. The first is
Speaking of the money, hit that like button. Somebody throw $1 in the hat, like, share, and subscribe. We all need that money, goddammit.
Give me the money. Give me the money. But, oh, well, I was you. Give me the money.
This soft surroundings embroidered tunic.
I'm telling you, she's
think that
selling
it's like
nursing scrubs for fat bitches. I'm telling you, she got a nice little hustle going on there.
dress length or tunic length, depending on how big your backside is. Okay, this would never work as a dress on me, but for some people, it could be a dress. For me, it's a tunic. Now, I usually don't pick up this brand, but I did pick this up because I thought the little foxes on here were so cute. So this is a Soho New York Jeans and Company sleeveless blouse, perfect workwear. But I just thought that the fox details was so cute. And then the last thing is this super adorable Umgee peasant blouse. I think that that's what this style is. Now, I may not keep picking up Umgee because it doesn't sell for super high. It sells between $15 and $18. And I cannot pay $7 or $8 for something that's only going to sell for $15 or $18. We'll see. I've also got some packages to ship out. After I showed y'all what sold yesterday, I sold another thing. It was Umgee. It sold for $15. See previous statement. But I do have some packages to ship out, so that makes me super excited, and I'm going to work on getting some listings up today. So that's how my week is going to go. The weeks, days, whatever. But I'll just be documenting it because
See, some people are taking their unemployment a lot better than others. Some of these women up here were damn near crashing out. Some of these women got a lot of horror stories, a lot of rough moments they've been going through. Other girls, they just sell fat girl moo-moos on TikTok. It's a life. It's a life.
I wasn't really going to talk about this because it's personal and I don't think people truly care, but I lost my job. And while I'm okay for right now, I'm just thinking about the fact that so many Black women in America have lost their jobs. I'm not looking for any sympathy or anything like that because I hated working there. I hated working for a company that supported a bunch of MAGA. And I put myself in a situation, to be honest with you. However, besides myself, other Black people were let go. But what's most concerning to me is the fact that we're not taking this shit seriously enough. Like, what's happening is very serious, and I don't think we realize how serious it is. The national unemployment rate for America is at 4.6%. The unemployment for Black Americans is at 8.3%. So nearly double. It is double. Teenage unemployment is at 16%, but Black teenage unemployment is at 30%, over double. And I don't think people are truly going to understand until it actually impacts them. And it's coming. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's coming. And it's going to hit right after you spend all this money on the holidays. It's going to hit right when you least suspect it. And I don't think people are heeding to the warnings that they are being given. I pray we turn out for the midterms, because if we don't, we're signing our own death warrants.
All right, that last bit was a little bit dramatic.
At this point, I consider depression like a rite of passage for being unemployed. There's no avoiding it. It's just what it is. Over 300,000 Black women were pushed out of the workforce this year, and I was one of them. This is lesson number 6 of 30 lessons surviving unemployment. Even if you have the perfect exit strategy, a fallback plan, a healthy saving, all of the above, the business plan that you've been waiting to launch. Unless the to-do list is made and the check's already incoming, girl, you're going to go through it a little bit, okay? You're going to get a little depressed. Going from a 9 to 5, Okay. Going from a 9 to 5 to nothing will humble you. There's no structure, no guaranteed checks. Even if you were just a professional dilly-dallyer, you miss a little dilly-dally deliverable. Being unemployed, especially in those first few weeks, first few months.
I think that's kind of the problem. And I've been talking about this openly. Like, we've been calling it adult daycare. A lot of these jobs are basically just busy work for women. Keep women out of the home, keep the birth rates down. It's literally just corporate dilly-dally work. You're professional dilly-dallyer. And now you're on unemployment
made
now.
and the checks already incoming, girl, you're going to go through it a little bit. Okay, you're gonna get a little depressed. Going from a 9 to 5. Okay. Going from a 9 to 5 to nothing will humble you. There's no structure, no guaranteed checks. Even if you were just a professional dilly-dallyer, you miss a little dilly-dally deliverable. Being unemployed, especially in those first few weeks, first few months, really beyond the first few for me, a few months, it gets just weird. It's a little mundane, especially for my productivity girlies. We love to be structured little busy bees. And whether you're trying to re-enter the workforce or carve your own lane, some stages just suck. Like, you're going to have to go through that period. That sucks. But unemployment gives us this beautiful opportunity to create something that our 9 to 5 wasn't giving us. That's right. Like, it gives us the opportunity to not carry that same system that burns us out into our new life. Even if you have the perfect exit strategy, a fallback plan, a healthy saving, all of the above, the business plan that you've been waiting to launch. Unless
Pardon
the
me, y'all. I
to-do
don't know
list
what the
is
hell that
made and
was.
the checks
Everything
already
just went black
incoming,
for a
girl, you're
had to reset real quick.
at
I
this
don't know what the
point, I
hell just
consider
happened.
depression like a
We'll take it from the top though.
At this point, I consider depression like a rite of passage. Opportunity to not carry that same system that burnt us out into our new life, our dream life, if you will. And it's cool to think about the fact that, I don't have to recreate that same hustle culture in my own freedom. But when the depression does hit, and it will, use that time to learn yourself again. What do you actually enjoy doing outside of being productive, or maybe even about being productive? Have you imagined your dream life lately? One that really regulates you, that grounds you, one that feeds your nervous system in a healthy way, one that isn't performative or based on someone else's opinion or approval. The trippy part, though, is that even this part, the designing of your own life, may likely be a little depressing
Oh
too.
my God.
You're unlearning structure, validation, and identity that you were attached to. And baby, that's heavy work. But it's also been some of the most liberating work that I've ever done. And hopefully that will be the case for you. Oh yes, depression and unemployment go together real bad. It's gonna happen. But so do rest and reinvention. What's one thing you've learned about yourself in the quiet parts, or sad parts, or hurtful parts of unemployment? This is lesson 6 of 30 lessons surviving unemployment. Next one tomorrow.
They're not hiring Black people. I am running myself rampant trying to find a job that I am highly qualified for. I have the experience. I am a catch. It has never been this difficult. Excuse me? The years that I spent in customer service, the years that I spent doing clerical work, administrative work, and you mean to tell me that my Black ass can't find a job? I mean,
this is not the first time I've heard this. In fact, I'm hearing it more and more as the days pass. And let me be clear, this isn't random. This is the plan. We have been targeted from the very beginning of this administration. That's not debatable. The elimination of DEI wasn't neutral. It wasn't abstract. Even though white women are the primary beneficiaries of DEI policies, the intended target was Black people, Black women in particular. I had a conversation not too long ago where someone said, Trump doesn't want any Black people here. And while there is part of me that believes that, there's another part of me that understands something more precise and deliberate. Trump doesn't mind Black people being here as long as we are beneath and subservient to the white establishment. As long as we are doing the menial jobs white people don't want to do, as long as we remain in a role of subordination. That's the condition. Not equality, not competition, submission. And the timing matters. Think about this. Undocumented workers are pushed out. And at the same time, Black women are being iced out of professional spaces. That's not coincidence. I view it as labor replacement. The goal is to push us back into abandoned roles. That's my opinion. Work that is undervalued, underpaid, underprotected, or unprotected and disposable. Used when convenient, disregarded when no longer needed. And if they do offer you an opportunity, it will be beneath your qualifications, beneath your experience, and well below what your white career peers are earning. Regardless of how many degrees you hold, regardless of how many years you spent earning them, regardless of what your resume says or how much experience you've acquired, this is about rolling back Father Time. There's a growing belief that Black people and Black women especially have gotten too educated, too independent, too vocal, and too big for our britches. The rollback is strategic, intentional, and calculated, which is why relying on reemerging Jim Crow institutions for our survival is futile. Now, here's the part we have to take seriously. We as a community, alongside other marginalized communities, have to support each other on purpose.
They are not hiring Black people. I am running myself rampant trying to find.
So, hi, my name is Vanya. I'm still part of the 300 plus counting of Black women who's unemployed. Recently, I just picked up a shift over this weekend, and it's part of a gig. The first gig that I did was on Monday, and what I did was I went to a store. Basically, it was a new retail store that was just opening up and needed people to like fix fixtures and stuff and literally get the store ready up and running so people can start purchasing. I did that gig. That was a lot of work. To now a gig now where I work at a warehouse, and I'm basically doing less work for a little bit more than the first gig with less hours. And basically at this warehouse, I don't do much of anything but making sure that people are staying in compliance, making sure that the workers has a full range of protection while they work and not being in the way of other people who are working in the facility. And so I'm just so thankful that the Lord has opened some doors for some money to come through. But I think it's really hard to pay for actual rent when landlords are looking for 2 months steady income, and you're like, okay, I don't have steady income, but I can give you like money. I need a place to stay. And so like it's easy for people to say like in this economy you can be homeless because the money that they're asking for rent for a trap house in Philadelphia is $2,000, and people don't make a third of $2,000 a week. Like you need to make a third of that to afford that rent. So if you don't have $2,000 a month for a house, whatever, or a good credit score, or even like $4,000 to put on housing, security deposit, and first last month rent, I don't know how people are doing it to survive. Like, how y'all managing this society? Because it seemed like a whole vast of New Yorkers came down to Philly and upped the price. Like post pandemic, I was able to afford a house that was $1,500 a month to now, and it barely checked credit, to now barely able to afford housing. Like currently right now I'm house sitting and I'm moving in with my friend to be able to have a house, like have a house to live in, to like have a roof over my head, because if not, like I can literally be homeless. um and that's something scary to think about. Like I don't know how people have it. I only have my dog. I don't have kids. So my heart goes out to those who are single and has kids, because being able to afford rent is nearly impossible.
I was having a wonderful conversation with a good friend. Her name is Recruiter Cousin. Okay. And in our conversation, we were talking about how I am so sick of seeing motherfuckers get on this internet. Okay. It's your resume. Your resume. There's something wrong with your resume. That's why you're not getting hired. Bitch. Have you seen the unemployment numbers? Are we really serious right now? Have y'all seen the unemployment numbers? Everybody's problem is not their fucking resume. Okay? Unemployment is real, bitch. These jobs are not hiring, they're not jobbing. Okay? HR not even looking over no motherfucking resumes. They're using AI. So it's just skipping over every single person. So it's not just y'all resume. You're not fucking crazy, okay? Until y'all turtles, you career coaches, let me tell you something, bitch. If I were you, I would find another hustle, because resumes ain't gonna be it, bitch. These people gonna get hip and they're gonna know that you are playing in their motherfucking face. Okay? Thank you. Have a good ass day. I was having a wonderful conversation with a good friend.
Not get a job right now. The reason why Black women cannot get a job right now, and the reason why y'all keep talking about there's like a hiring freeze, is not because y'all not qualified. It's because y'all keep trying to get the same type of job. Y'all either is in customer service or being a corporate baddie or work from home. If everybody is looking and trying to get into that same field, of course it's going to be a freeze. Of course it's not going to be enough jobs for y'all. Y'all need to get into type of jobs like construction or either healthcare. Healthcare, construction, engineering. Y'all need to get into that type of field. Because listen, I'm not trying to brag, but I got hired twice this month. And I only applied for 5 jobs. And I'm still in welding school. I'm in trade school still. And I got hired twice. I actually quit one and got hired the next day. You don't need no fancy resume. You don't need somebody charging you for a course. You don't need any of that. You need to get into a different field, a field that is high demand, a field that needs you. You don't have to even look like me. You don't have to wear a Carhartt and get your hands dirty. You could be a construction management. You could be an engineer. You don't have to do what all the other girls is doing. Everybody wants to do work from home. Everybody want to do customer service, and everybody wants to do corporate baddie. And to be quite honest, why? Those jobs is not even like union jobs. Let's be honest. I wouldn't even want to do those type of jobs. They be laying people off like that. I have not heard of a corporate baddie saying she's in the union. I have not heard of work from home telling me that they're in the union. And I have not heard of customer service telling me they're in union. If you're going to get a job, please get a union job and get a career that makes sense. Okay? How y'all feel about this? The reason
now about Black women. So there's a lot of content I'm seeing now about Black women being laid off at an alarming rate. Let's talk mental health, survival, and starting afresh with no money. We are seeing major layoffs across industries, especially in media, tech, and communications. Black women are often first out and last rehired. Bias, budget cuts, burnout, it's all real. You're not alone, and this does not define your value. I'm going to do a series on like how to protect our mental health and also some income generating opportunities that doesn't require any money or low cost that people aren't really talking about. First, mental health. Here's how to protect your peace. First, unplug from them rejection emails. Take a 2-day break of no job hunting. I know that sounds crazy right now, but take a break. Take a break to process, reflect, regroup, reinvent, try some things. In that time, read something, do some additional learning. Affirm yourself daily. I am valuable even when systems fail me. Check out some therapy apps like Therapy for Black Girls or Open Path, who offers a sliding scale help. Communication is key. Join online support groups, different women associations, different business associations, networking, mentoring, all of those things. The Small Business Association, the Women's Business Council in your area. Normally it's under the Small Business Association or administration. A lot of things have changed with this current administration. So just do a Google search and check in your area. Some quick income generating options and opportunities that people often talk about is like freelancing on like Fiverr and Upwork. You can get into digital marketing. PayHip is a free site that you can put your products on, produce them on Canva, use AI ChatGPT to help create them, sell them on like a free site like PayHip. You can look at virtual assisting or online tutoring. There's many companies that hire for those services. You also can look into user testing websites where you can be a user tester, whatever that is, and affiliate marketing in like TikTok and IG.
These angry, mad, opportunistic, lying Black women.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
A motherfucker just supposed to take and accept whatever the fuck you say because I'm a Black woman. Bitch, shut up. The fuck out of here.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.